Hello everyone, I'm back. Sorry I haven't been here for a while. Anyway, I'm back, and with a little series on cuts, and this is episode 1. This is going to be a fairly easy one, and a good place to start if you've never done effects before, and now I've been talking too long and have no idea what I'm doing with my hands. Anyway, scar wax. To start, you need a clean base. No makeup, or the stuff won't stick. Apply some Spirit Gum. Not fully necessary, but if you want it to last, this helps. Tap to make tacky. It will not become tacky unless you tap. With a little Vaseline on your hands, take some scar wax and make it into a worm. The Vaseline stops the wax from sticking to your fingers and everywhere else. But too much Vaseline and the stuff's just gonna slide around in your hand. Start pinching out the edges. You can do this when it's on the skin, but pinching before does make it a bit easier. Place the flattened worm on the tacky Spirit Gum. Continue to flatten and blend the wax into the skin. Now, scar wax is not one of my favorite products, but it is useful. So here's a few pros and cons. Pros: it's easy to work with, especially for beginners. It never dries out, so you can take your time working with it. It's quick for a fast look if you need it. You can make a quick cut or a bullet wound within 15 minutes. Cons: it doesn't dry, so it's very easy to dent or accidentally destroy after you've completed it. It's wax, and can melt and fall off the skin without adhesives. It doesn't move well, or feel that comfortable for that matter, so it can fall off with too much movement. After sufficient flattening, take a thin instrument like a palette knife or even a toothpick and cut the wax to make your cut. Spread the cut a little bit to make it a bit more noticeable. You don't want the edges touching each other. Add some texture with a stipple sponge, toothbrush, or stiff paintbrush. This next step is optional. Apply a coat of plastic sealer. This helps color adhere to the wax and will help the longevity of your cut. Add some stippled color to your wax to match the skin tone. This will help blend the edges a bit more and make the wax itself a little less noticeable. I myself used alcohol paints. Powder to remove shine. Next, take a dark blue color and apply it right into the cut, as this adds depth. I also added a little bit of a dark purple, just for dimension. You can also add a very little bit of dark red or purple to the very top of the cut for a bit of irritation. After that, I added some scab blood for gooiness and a bit of extra depth. You don't need this, I just like the effect it gives. It's also good for an older wound where the blood has dried. Lastly, add some fake blood, as this is a fresh cut and still bleeding. And that's how you get a quick fake cut with scar wax. Mine isn't perfect, but that's okay. This was just a demo. Hope you enjoyed. Bye! Tap to make tacky. It will not become tacky. Tappy. After sufficient flattening, take a thin instrument, such as a palette knife or even a toothpick, to after sufficient flattening, take a thin instrument, such as a palette knife or even a toothpick, and cut. After this next step is optional, but I'm including it anyway. Apply a coat of plastic sealer. This helps color adhere to the wax and will hopefully help the longevity of your bleh. This next step is paper.